What's good, Destined Ones? Today I'm going to show you 21 plus of the greatest weapons, armor, items, and things that you must have in Black Myth Wukong. Let's get straight into this. The first is probably one of the most underrated, and it's the hardest one to get on the list. That's going to be this right here, the Tian Gourd. This gourd will slowly recover on its own. You drink it and 15 seconds later, it's already back. So you can pop this gourd as many times as you want in any encounter or during your journey, whenever. It's absolutely amazing. It's one of my favorite gourds to use when I'm just relaxing and playing this game and having fun. It's going to come back automatically so you can spam it without worrying. And if you really want to get the most out of it, I'll show you a couple of amazing drinks that can go alongside it. Taking a quick look, each sip recovers 60% of your maximum health. That's just absolutely insane. The only issue with this one is it impairs your movement for a brief moment after you drink your gourd. So that's kind of annoying, but you can ignore it if you want. Next, other items like this right here, the Jade Dew. Each sip recovers 55 of your maximum health. The Jade Dew is probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest drink in the game. The way that you get this, it's your coconut drink. All you have to do is maximize your coconut drink, go out and get every single wine worm in the game. There's going to be 12 in your first cycle and 9 for every cycle after that. And you will be able to instantly max this thing out and drink it as much as you want. Each sip recovering 55% is just crazy. Other things that you might want to look into is this right here, the Sunset of the Nine Skies. This only does 35% of your maximum health, but it also gives you back chi. That's something that's completely invaluable in this game. Dry Spirit is amazing because this is going to give you health back over time. So if you're combining that on top of the Graceful Orchid and other items like the Celestial Lotus Seed, well, yeah, you will instantly be at full health before you even could realize it. So that is the power of the Tian Gourd, and I definitely feel that everybody needs to get it. In order to get the Tian Gourd, however, you have to get every portrait in the game. So you have to meet every single last one of these characters, and oh my god, some of them are a little bit difficult or easily missed. If you want a guide like that on teaching you how to get every single portrait, then let me know down in the comment section below, but that is going to be one of the greatest items in the game. The next item on our list is something that's going to go alongside that gourd, and it's just as good. That's going to be this insane drink right here, the Loong Balm. You receive this in chapter 5, right after you defeat the yin fish. Right behind him is going to be a table. On that table over to the left is going to be this sitting there waiting for you. Go up, grab it, and don't miss out on this amazing mythical drink. It's going to have 4 slots in it from base. Each sip recovers 30% of your maximum health, but the best part about it is it considerably increases your damage executed for your next attack. So that's something that you do have to keep in mind. Let's move on to the next item. All right, the next item, yeah, it's amazing, the gold button. The reason why I love this so much, because if you're using your gourd and your drinks and you're always maxing your health out, then you will always be at full health. And if you're always at full health, well, guess what? You significantly increase your attack power, and that is invaluable in this game. You can make some of the most powerful builds of all time, smacking for incredible damage with any build that you want if your health is at full. So as long as you have things like the Tian Gourd or the Loong Balm, you'll be able to get your health up super quickly and increase your attack damage and do some pretty amazing things. The next item is going to be this right here, the Amber Prayer Beads. You're going to be able to get this in chapter 5. Right after you beat Father of Stones and you go into the cave, if you go straight in over to the right, it's just sitting in there in a chest. Super easy to get to. You don't want to miss out on it. There's only one in the game. You're not allowed to stack a whole bunch of these, but it moderately increases the speed at which you build focus. Now let's think about that. There's so many different builds that need focus. Jingubang, for instance, this thing can get up to 4 focus points and it doesn't deplete over time. So just imagine how quickly you can get to 4 focus points and then slap for some of the best damage in the game. So many other staffs also will benefit from 4 focus points. As long as you have invested a bunch of points into their staff stances and all the other requirements for each, you will be able to do some of the best damage in the game. So don't miss out on it. The next item on this list is going to be the gold Spikeplate. This thing is so broken, especially if you're rocking a Bull King set or the old Sage set. This is going to be a must-have for your arsenal. Unfortunately for me, one of my cycles, it didn't drop. So this is an RNG based item. You're going to have to be careful. Make sure you pre-save before you try to go and farm for the item. There's only one giant that's going to give it to you, the Dark-Faced Lord, over towards the left just before you go towards Thunderclap Temple in chapter 3. Yeah, go see that guy, go pack him up, and go get your gold Spike Plate. This thing considerably increases defense, but it also deals damage to surrounding enemies who try to hit you. So you're just getting out free focus, free hits, and yeah, it just feels great. So the next item, I have talked about this item continuously over and over because it's just that good. The Auspicious Lantern. This thing is something that you cannot play the game without if you use Cloud Step. You must have this. Cloud Step, Unveiling Strike with this bad boy right here. And if you go a step further and you drop something like the Breath of Fire into your Gourd, oh man, you are slapping for some of the best damage you possibly can in Black Myth Wukong. It's definitely not something you want to miss out on, so make sure that you grab it as soon as you can. You're going to be able to get this from chapter 3 in the Pagoda realm itself. Make sure you knock out all 9 of the Lantern Wardens and do not fight the boss until you do so. Once you have taken out all 9 of those boys, then you can beat down Captain Wise Voice and you're good to go. The next item on our list is something that plenty of people have seen in almost every single Black Myth Wukong video ever made. The Dark Iron Staff. It's just so amazing. It's the best staff in the game. There are other staffs that are a lot more interesting, fun to play than this one, but when you want to talk about just straight, pure damage, it's Dark Iron. You're going to need this, and the best and easiest way to get it is going into the secret area and beating up Bishui. That dude is sitting in there. He's the last boss in the secret area. Once you pack him up, you're going to be able to make this staff. Now, if you pack him up in 2 cycles, that's one time in your first cycle, another time in a New Game Plus run, you're going to be able to get the entire fit. That's the whole King Bull set, and oh my god, the Bull King set is one of the most OP sets in Black Myth Wukong. This thing cleans house with any New Game Plus run. Even the New Game Plus runs in 4 and 5, and a lot of people were telling me, no, it's impossible, you get one shot. Well, technically, yes, you can get one shot as soon as you step into your 3rd cycle. Like, if you give these bosses a chance to fight you, they will 2 to 3 shot you. That's any boss. They do incredible damage because that's just the way that game scientists scaled their game. Do I agree with it? Absolutely not. I don't think it's good scaling to have your bosses slapping for that much damage and we have no other way of countering it or becoming more powerful ourselves after your 3rd New Game Plus run. You will cap out. I don't think a lot of people understand that, but every single item that you receive out in the world, if you've already received it before, it turns into will automatically. So you have no more further uses for any of the items that you find or receive. If you're going to get yourself another pill to try to raise up your HP, you can't. Once you hit the maximum levels, that's it. So it's kind of sad that they decided to go down that route, but I kind of see that they want the game to be more difficult for those who choose to play it that way. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I can see a lot of people not interested in that. And once you get to the New Game Plus 3, and even if you get that brand new Wukong stance that unlocks once you have all the things unlocked in your relic, you'll probably just pass on trying to use it, which is so sad because it's a pretty amazing thing that only lasts for a minute, but it's still there nonetheless. Let's move on. If you use any type of banes or resistances in this game, then you're going to need the Celestial Birthstone Fragment. You receive this thing over in chapter 6 from beating down the frog over on the eastern part of the map. Once you do, you're good. They also fixed the glitch where you won't receive your tadpole. So if you haven't received your tadpole yet, go ahead and tap that man up so you can get your tadpole. And once you have this in hand, you're able to do so much damage with any of the spirits that you want to any boss in the game. It's really just something that you don't want to live without in Black Myth Wukong. But let's move on. Jingubang. So to be honest with you, Jingubang is just so powerful, especially when you're using the entire Heaven's Equal set is just amazing. You're able to get that 4 focus point off super quickly. You have all the critical hits that you need in the world, because upon critical hits you slightly reduce your cooldowns for all spells. Your critical hit chance is being bounced up into the air by everything that you're wearing, which is awesome. The entire set, if you go full Jingubang and the entire Wukong set, then you're going to be maxing out all of your different categories all at once with a single set. It's just amazing. Like, look at this. We have maximum stamina, crit hit chance, we have maximum health, maximum mana, and more maximum stamina, all in a single outfit. It's just too amazing to really pass up on. I mean, once you find the other item on this list, you're probably going to give this up because it's just inferior in every way. But until you get there, this thing is going to get you through New Game Plus super easy. Now, speaking of the best armor set in Black Myth Wukong, we can argue it all day and say, oh my goodness, the Pilgrim set is the greatest set in the world because it just smacks for the absolute god tier of damage. Facts. That is absolute facts. Nobody can deny you that. But the actual best set in the game that you can use all the different spells and everything else and have a lot of fun while doing it without just running all over the place every single day is this armor set right here. When you max out your Relic, you are capable of pushing out the highest defense stat and the highest attack in the game. And it's just from straight base. This armor set doesn't have any other special unique benefits to it, but it's going to be able to raise your attack stat, because if you use something like the Dark Iron Staff, you're going to be getting the most out of it. There's so much potential. Every single last one of these pieces, plus all your Relic slots unlocked, is going to have an amazing amount of defense. That defense converts over to offense, which is your attack, and it's time to smack whoever you don't like. That's just what it is in this game. It's something that you really don't want to miss out on. With that being said, in order to get your hands on this, it's actually super easy. You get to chapter 6, you turn around from the first shrine after you get your Nimbus Cloud, and you go right over here to this weird tree. There's a chest right in front of it. Open up that chest and grab this armor set. If you like what I do so far here on the channel, I would really appreciate it if you smash the like button for me. But you guys already know what we're here for. Let's get to the rest of the video. Alright, so this is just way too powerful. Like, let's just be real. The Long Aura Amplification Pellets, I call them LA. These are some of the best medicines that can possibly be used in Black Myth Wukong. It raises your attack massively, crit hit chance and crit damage. It's just so good, and for a long duration. You can make this even longer with the brand new benefits they added onto the Venomous set. Or not the Venomous set, but the Insect set. So that would be this one right here. But if you have only 2 of these pieces on, upon taking medicine, it grants considerable focus. And if you have all 4 of the entire set on, it considerably increases the duration of all medicinal effects, meaning that you can make that even longer, and that is a whole lot of DPS to stand on for a long amount of time. In order to get yourself the Long Aura Amplification Pellets, you're going to have to buy the formula from Zoodog himself, right after you reach chapter 5. Moving on to the Enhanced Ginseng Pellets, that's over in chapter 4 waiting for you. Once you get your hands on the Enhanced Ginseng Pellets and you start pushing out those 4 focus point crit damage hits, yeah, this drug is just something that you always have to pop. That much damage that you're able to get out in a pure instant, especially if you have something like the Jingubang staff that's going to allow you to just keep those 4 focus points without it depleting. Yeah, life is amazing. Something that you really don't want to leave home without. Moving on from there, we're going to go into some spirits that you just gotta get into. This one right here, the Mother of Flamling. Like, I feel like this little queen right here is super underrated because you don't really think to use her, but she is one of the best scorch burning spirits in the game. Her and the Governor, he's pretty solid. I'm not gonna hold you. I have used him a little bit when I upgraded all of my other spirits, and then I reset and upgraded the ones that I really like. Bull Governor is no slouch, but he's super late in the game. I mean, so is the Flamling Mother, but at the same time, she's gonna do so much damage for you, and she's a ranged option, so I kind of like that a lot. Another ranged option is something that you don't want to leave home without is going to be this guy right here, Guangmou, and you get him from chapter 1. That makes him even better. This poison buildup demon is absolutely insane. And because he can put poison bane on so many different enemies extremely quickly, he's just an amazing asset that you have to try out for yourself. And when you do, let me know which one you feel is actually better, Mother of Flamling or Guangmou. Alright, it couldn't be the greatest items in the Black Myth Wukong without announcing this dude. Wandering Wight is the OG, the very first spirit you can get your hands on, and this dude is a menace. If you do some crazy shenanigans like getting all up into the poison build, you poison yourself so you're inflicted with poison, you push out more damage, you have the entire centipede set running for you, and then you go into a cloud step, you drink your gourd, and you have to make sure that that gourd has breath of fire, and then you immobilize, and then you slap with this thing, you could hit some of the highest damage numbers you've ever seen in the game. And he can one-shot things too. It's kind of insane how amazing Wandering Wight can be if you decide to make a build completely focused around how he can one-shot people, but it's up to you whether you choose to do so or not. Alright, since we're on the topic of just amazing spirits, we got to keep it going. Non-able. This is the hardest spirit to understand in Black Myth Wukong. But once you start to understand it and use it, you are going to see some of the best results. It's done amazing. The way that this thing works is it has its own continuation to a light attack combo. It's the best or the easiest way I can explain it. Let's say you go for a 1-2 punch. So you push square 2 times. If you tap non-able for the third light attack, you are going to get a specific moveset to pop out. So if you don't do any light attacks whatsoever and you just go straight into non-able, he'll do his little hoop hoop punch, and that's going to be about it. But if you start to do a light attack and then mix this in there, you're going to see different phases of his light attack variants, and it's pretty insane how he can completely stun certain enemies if you get into the 3 and 4 range. So it's going to take a lot of experimenting and you getting used to using him in order for you to get the most out of him, but he's still amazing once you finally get the flow of how he works. Let's move on to the next spirit. Now this next spirit is actually kind of surprising. Mad Tiger, I didn't really know how good it was until I started to use it. The bonus damage that this thing is allowed to get out in this little area of effect is so crazy. Like, it's actually surprising how good this thing really is. So I never really felt like the Mad Tiger was going to be that OP, but now that I'm in my new game plus 3 and 4, it's really starting to show how amazing this thing is. The damage numbers that it hits are getting up to the numbers of Wandering Wight. And of course, all of these spirits, if you center a build focused just on them, they're going to be able to do amazing damage. So it's worth your time if you're interested in it. Red-haired Yaksha. So this is just a personal favorite. I had to throw it on this list. Just think of this as an honorable mention because I'm just so happy they made a ranged option that's so powerful like this thing right here. The punishing arrow that this thing can shoot out, I wish there was more of them, or I wish it was able to shoot it more often. But yes, this thing is absolutely a truck. It shoots out that arrow and it punishes whoever is standing in its way. It's a great spirit and I love to use it for all ranged options and just for good solid damage in certain encounters. Alright, this one right here is a little bit of a surprise. The Turtle Treasure is actually phenomenal because it moderately increases the damage dealt by heavy attacks that cost 3 or 4 focus points. This thing can really push your DPS to some insane numbers, so do not sleep on it. You're gonna have to wait until chapter 5 to even see this thing, but once you have finally received it, it's going to be your best friend for a long time. It's one of the greatest spirits in the game, so it's definitely getting a recommendation from me. The Relic and Unified Minds. So Unified Minds has got to be one of the most broken spells or abilities in Black Myth Wukong. The fact that you're able to perform certain powerful moves alongside or right along in sync with your duplicates is incredible, because that is where you start to push into one-shot territory. And once you start to get into that one-shot build nonsense, you will never be able to get yourself out of it. It's just going to be so amazing and it's going to feel so good. Last but not least, this is probably one of my favorites. It's one of the first spirits that I actually used a lot of and learned everything about, and that is Gourd-Eyed Taoist. This thing slaps like a truck, and when it's fully upgraded, it's going to be giving you nothing but support and benefits. It's one of the best spirits of all time, and that attack stat that it gives you and the bosses or anybody that's standing near it is extremely high. So make sure that you know what you're doing and you're using it when you have to. And that's going to be absolutely everything I know that you need to have in Black Myth Wukong. If you like what I do on the channel, make sure you smash the like button and sub so that you don't miss out on any more tips, tricks, guides, and everything you need. This is your boy Emma M6HD. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. But for now though, this is your boy Emma M6HD. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. But for now though, I'm out of here.